Let's talk about winning championships, and the one factor about winning that's unpredictable or inconsistent. If you want to win a championship, what do you need? You need talent, you need good coaching, players need to be healthy and well trained, team chemistry is important, practice is important, strategy, game plan, and film is important. That's basically the championship formula, right? And yet year after year, we watch teams that have all of that still fall short. Why? Because no matter how strong your game plan is, when the stakes are high, strategy can only take you so far. At the end of the day, it's about who breaks and who doesn't. I know you've seen it. When a player dominates during practice, it doesn't play the same in a game. But when they go into a slump, or spiral downwards after a bad play, or mess up from overthinking. There's so many mental obstacles that can interfere with a player during key moments, and in the most subtle ways, in ways that not everyone can see, but it affects their game. And that slight disconnect during a balanced championship game can literally cost you the championship. And these types of problems aren't ones you can fix with more film or more drills. Not even tools like sports psychology, mindset coaching, NLP, or reframing techniques can resolve these issues fast enough to win a championship. They work, but progress is slow, and it's inconsistent and can be undone under pressure. And the truth is, most athletes don't want to do those things because they don't think it's going to work. The reality is that these methods take time, and at this level, there isn't time. Athletes need something that works now, not in 6 months to a year with little change. They need something that requires very minimum effort on their part but yields big results. This is where the Biko Method comes in. We don't work around issues, we actually remove them completely. And when that happens, performance improves. And not over time, but literally by the very next game. This is how it works. Every time a player goes through a moment that feels emotionally intense, like when they cause a turnover, or if they're being called out by the coach, or if they let the team down for whatever the reason. When that happens, the brain stores that moment as a protective pattern, especially if it felt like something was on the line, like their reputation, or their playing time, or even their self-worth. But the entire experience gets burned into the subconscious as a neural and chemical loop that reactivates anytime the pressure feels similar. When it does, it tries to protect them, causing them to believe on some level that I'm safer if I hold back than I am if I make another mistake. So this is the unconscious story that starts to interfere with them during critical moments, and it throws them off completely. So now, whenever they walk into a high-pressure moment like a playoff game, the unconscious reads it as, this is just like that time before when you failed and got hurt. Better protect you. And at that moment, everything changes in their body. Their nervous system gets hijacked, and they start to feel tight, and their heart starts racing, their hands get shaky and sweaty, their timing is off, and they start to feel disconnected from their own body. It's like watching yourself mess up and not being able to do anything about it. They're literally chemically in a survival mode, and their brain starts dumping cortisol, adrenaline, and norepinephrine, which shuts down their creative decision-making and blocks their muscle memory, causing them to become reactive and unpredictable. And at the same time, neurotransmitters that tell your system that you're safe drop. And without those neurotransmitters, the brain can't turn off that survival mode. That's why talented players can still get into slumps and spiral downwards. They literally can't snap out of it. And the problem is, most of the tools we give our athletes to deal with this, unfortunately, are just too slow. When you've only got 48 hours before the next game, you don't have the time to slowly retrain your nervous system. You need something that works in a different way. We've been able to prove through clinical studies that by disrupting a specific subconscious pattern known as an emotional footprint, the subconscious completely lets go of that belief. And because of that, the body doesn't go through that neurochemical response anymore. The way we do this is by locating the exact pattern that is playing in the background. Then we use a series of precise statements phrased in a way that causes the subconscious to immediately dissolve those old neural pathways. And then it lets the belief go. And not gradually, immediately. And then the emotional charge is completely gone. And right away, cortisol stops pumping, and the part of the brain responsible for decision making and execution comes back online. After each session, athletes are calm, present, focused, and ready to dominate. The original neural pathway, the part of them that knows how to perform, that muscle memory and trained instinct that came from hours of work, that's the only neural pathway that's now firing. When the old patterns are gone, that's what's left, the real version of the athlete. And because those patterns are completely dissolved, the player can't even find the associated emotion, even if they try. Athletes will come to me with slumps that they're in, or a hesitation that they're experiencing, or an insecurity. And literally in each session, whatever their issue is completely resolved by the time we're done. I'll even try to trigger them or exaggerate the issue just to see if anything is still there. Most of the time, they're just pumped to go back and play. They're focused, they're confident, and clear-headed. And for the record, I don't chase athletes to book our next session. They literally come to me. They text me before a game or a practice, or after it's done if something came up, because we clear it right away, and it gives them the edge they need, and they know it. This is great for the team and for the coach, because as soon as the coach sees that there's an issue, he can talk to the player about it and come see me. The coach can talk to me directly. Either way, the issue will be resolved by the next game. There's nothing else out there that can do that. Our sessions can typically last anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes for a quick pre or post-game meeting, with 45 minutes if it's something big. At the end of the day, every athlete that I've worked with ends up playing the best they've ever played after they've experienced the Biko Method. So if you want the best shot at a championship, yes, stack your roster, be a good coach, run your system, do everything you've always done. But if you want the one thing that most teams don't have, that thing that makes the difference when everything's on the line, that added benefit that tips the skills in your favor, then you need the Biko Method on your team. You've already invested a lot of time and money into these players. Use the Biko Method to maximize your return on that investment, and let's win some championships together.